Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Hey, it's Bobby Bones with some exciting news. Open booking is here for the Top Shelf Country Cruise, setting sail February 2026 aboard the luxurious Celebrity Reflection. Spots are filling up fast, so book your stateroom today or sign up to become a lineup insider to receive the final lineup 48 hours prior to the public. Don't miss your chance to make February 2026 unforgettable. Visit TopShelfCountryCruise.com. That's TopShelfCountryCruise.com.
So it's like a flight of whiskey or beer, but it's cheese. So you get to try a bunch of different cheeses.
They
You know what I'm
already
saying?
have that. It's called a cheese plate, Heath.
No, right. But mine would be served in whiskey glasses.
Oh, that's different.
You are getting sleepy.
But I'm not, though.
You are getting so sleepy.
No, I had caffeine. I'm fine.
Hey,
Really?
no, what up?
I think Tom is trying to hypnotize me. Hey, we're doing Franz.
Okay.
We're doing Franz Mesmer this week, so I guess it's in theme.
Sleep.
Yeah, that could be it, Noah, but sometimes he just does this until you do what he wants. He'll just do it for a really long time.
Your
Just keep
eyelids
going.
are so
On and on.
heavy. You want to sleep. Look at the watch. It's swinging back and forth. Back.
No, you're supposed to use a pocket
Forth.
watch.
On
You're
a
just
chain.
waving
I'm
your
not,
wristwatch in his face back and
You're
forth. It's on your wrist.
sleepy. The watch
moving your
means
arms.
Okay,
you're
all right. Well, he's clearly not quitting
sleepy.
anytime. Yes, I am so very sleepy. In fact, I am now asleep.
Great. I knew it would work. You will transfer all of your money to this bank account, and in the memo you will write for butt stuff.
Okay, but wouldn't giving you money for butt stuff also kind of like play a joke on yourself? Like you'd have to deposit that check that you got for butt. Okay.
Sleepy.
I'm just saying, like, you got paid for butt stuff. It's clear to the bank what happened.
Sleepy for you too.
How is giving you all the money different from you doing no work and getting the same amount of money as the rest of us? How's that different than
Diesel?
Yeah. Yeah.
You are getting sleepy.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Sleepy.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Memo section.
Hello and welcome to Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts because this is the internet and that's how it works now. I'm Cecil and I'll be helping mesmerize you tonight, but I'll need some help. So let me introduce the panel. First up, two guys that don't even know how animal magnets work, Heath and Tom.
That I know what that is. That's how they keep the horseshoes on.
Yeah.
I know how they work. It's just they're all repelled by me. Just God damn it.
Also joining us, a man at an advanced age that is in danger of breaking a hypnosis.
Oh,
Noah.
yeah. No, I'm far enough into mental decline at this point that prosthesis is the only legitimate thesis I've got left. So I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, patrons, you're paying for Eli's doctor to deliver a baby right now. And if you'd like to learn how to give us money for a human right, like
Not yet.
food, shelter, or medicine, because our country just gave us these bootstraps and nothing else, be sure to stick around till the end of the show.
I ate my bootstraps. Is that
you
wrong?
tug my bootstraps?
I'm out of bootstraps.
And with that out of the way, tell us, Heath, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event will we be talking about today?
We're going to be talking about Franz Mesmer and animal magnetism.
Ooh, get excited, folks. And Tom, you thought animal magnetism was going to involve frying up some meat in an induction cooktop.
I did.
You ready to tell us how disappointed you are?
No, that is a much longer topic than we have time for, Cecil. We'll have to stick to Franz Mesmer.
I guess that's
Good point.
fair. All right, Tom, let's start it off. Who was Franz Mesmer?
Well, Franz Mesmer was born in 1734.
Well, there's your first mistake right there.
It gets worse. In Isenach, Germany.
And a second, yeah.
Could have been a
Now, his father
worse time.
was a... His father was a master forester, whatever that is, and his mother was, quote, a locksmith's daughter.
Nice.
I don't know if that phrasing is just representative of the rampant misogyny of defining a woman by the occupation of the man most responsible for her, or if it's maybe a commentary on how defining someone by their job enshrines and maintains class distinctions, or if it's in fact just like some wonderfully backhanded slight to the children of locksmiths. But still, there you have it.
Damn it, you son of a locksmith. Yeah, okay.
Locksmith's daughter.
They could have just called her Mrs. Mesmer and just left it at that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's just so weird. So Mesmer, he was a Jesuit. He graduated school having studied both law and medicine, finished his studies in 1766 with the publication of his thesis titled On the Influence of the Planets on the Human Body. Now, the idea here was basically a kind of medical astrology. He was inspired by Newton's findings that celestial bodies influence the tides. That's real. And Mesmer thought that the sun and moon influenced tides within the human body.
Being influenced by the moon, that's lunacy. Like literally
Yeah, and
lunacy.
by the way, before anybody gets too impressed with the fact that he like studied both law and medicine, keep in mind that A, we knew a pamphlet's worth about each of them back then, and B, if you check WebMD while you're watching Judge Judy, you've technically achieved that same distinction.
Yeah. Also, his thesis was largely plagiarized from work done by Richard Mead, a contemporary of Newton's. But I love this. Wikipedia excuses the plagiarism by saying, quote, doctoral theses were not expected to be original.
Lots of great sources are made of other people's words. Citation. Edit or fuck you.
You know, Webster didn't fucking make up any of those words. I'm just saying. Somebody else's.
What? That's the thesis. So in 1768, Mesmer married, and I'm not making this up, he married Anna Maria von Posch, a wealthy widow. So basically Cougar Spice. That's who married Cougar Spice. Now he's all set up in that posh lifestyle. Mesmer set himself up in Vienna as a doctor, living the high life, entertaining Mozart and Haydn at his mansion. In fact, when Mozart wasn't able to secure a performance of his one-act opera, I'm going to mispronounce this, Bastien und Bastien, Mesmer arranged a performance to be played in his own private garden. And for his part, Mozart actually wrote Mesmer into his comedic opera, Cose fan tutte? I probably mispronounced that too.
You know, back then, being a law doctor might have been a pretty good pickup line. Now everyone thinks $500,000 in student loan debt is a turnoff, which is weird.
right?
You'd think they wouldn't think that, but
I'm going to need to swipe left or right on your credit report before we get to the pictures.
Exactly.
Just go ahead and...
Yeah. Just a link to Experian on your fucking Tinder bio.
So befriending Mozart was pretty much the last sensible thing that Mesmer will ever be known for, because now he goes full on like CVS as seen on TV aisle crazy. Like, remember how Mesmer thought you had like tides in your body that could be affected by the moon? And how that idea in 1766 wasn't considered batshit fucking nuts? Well, Mesmer figured that if there were tides in the human body, then maybe he could influence those tides. I don't know, by magnets, because why not?
You have a magnet the size of the moon?
So in 1774, Mesmer treated Franziska Osterlin for her case of hysteria by inducing in her an artificial tide. Now, the process goes like this. First, the patient swallows some iron.
what?
Then, I'm getting there, right? That's not at all dangerous, just random iron, who knows?
Does she like deep throat a poker for a fire or something? Like, what is happening?
She's just got a kettlebell in her stomach. Just, oh, God. Oh, that'd be Russian. Then Mesmer puts magnets all over this hysterical woman. And finally, and this is where it'll all come together, both the patient and the doctor lie to each other and pretend that something's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, chiropractors are great, but they're not tidal enough.
But that's the thing, right? Like, if this wasn't still a multi-million-dollar business for people who haven't even swallowed the fucking iron, it would sound way sillier to us.
So in this case, Francisca reported feeling mysterious streams of fluid flowing through her body. And she totally wasn't hysterical again for several hours.
I think it's not. It's the iron. It's not really a mystery. You swallowed a bunch of iron.
Was it more than 4 hours, Tom?
More than 4
If your attraction lasts more than 4 hours, contact a medical astrologist.
All right, so like this fake bullshit they just pretended that it worked, right? So you would think that maybe Mesmer would conclude from this that like eating a bunch of iron and then jiggling it around with magnets, that was the solution. I mean, that's what he did. But instead, Mesmer concluded that while it was probably true that he treated tides of energy flowing throughout the patient's body, he did not attribute the success to the magnet thing that he literally had just done. Instead, Mesmer figured that he influenced the energy tides in his patient because he himself had actually accumulated so much of his own magnetism that he was now the solution. And he abandoned the use of the magnets. Fuck the magnets.
He was a magnet the size of the moon.
That's amazing. Now, if he gave this girl an orgasm with a magnet and didn't call it a compass, he is missing a marketing opportunity.
And he does not strike me as the type that would miss a lot of those. Really.
Exactly.
No. So this was the beginning of the idea of animal magnetism. And while anyone who's seen Heath in a low-cut top would not doubt its existence,
Caliente.
Animal magnetism, as described by Mesmer, is somewhat more in doubt.
Well, while the audience gets their mysterious fluids flowing while they think of a scantily clad Heath, we should take a break for some apropos of nothing.
Turtleneck, too. It doesn't have to be low cut. I'm just saying, like, the shapes are apparent either way. Come on, Buster. Hey, Buster. Oh, Jesus. Are you fucking stuck to the door again?
Is your pet's animal magnetism getting you down?
Buster, did you erase all these VHS tapes?
You can do something about it.
Have you seen my other fucking earring?
Did you check the dog? Fucking hate you so much.
Yeah, it was fucking stuck to him.
Yeah, it was stuck to him, like I said.
Fucking stuck to him again.
Shocking.
Now, with the copper coats, we put the power of copper into a stylish little jacket for your dog.
Hey, he's not sticking the door anymore. And he looks adorable. Thanks, Copper Coats.
That's right. The magic of copper. It's as much bullshit as animal magnetism.
And my dog's arthritis is gone.
No, it's very much not.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's not.
So, Tom, when we left off, we were learning about the only lawyer in history to give a woman a non-faked orgasm. Is there any way you could give us more insight into Franz's mindset here?
Sure, I'd be happy to. In fact, let me quote directly from Mesmer on how animal magnetism is supposed to work. This is a quote. Modern philosophy has admitted a plenum, or universal principle of fluid matter, which occupies all space. And that as all bodies moving in the world abound with pores, this fluid matter introduces itself through the interstices and returns backwards and forwards, flowing through one body by the currents which issue therefrom to another, as in a magnet, which produces that phenomenon which we call animal magnetism.
You change any term in that to chloroquine, and it's a Trump coronavirus press conference. Guaranteed.
You could change none of the terms. It's my Tinder bio.
He continues, quote, this fluid consists of fire, air, and spirit, and like all other fluids, tends to an equilibrium. Therefore, it is easy to conceive how the efforts which the bodies make towards each other produce animal electricity, which, in fact, is no more than the effect produced between two bodies, one of which has more motion than the other. A phenomenon serving to prove that the body which has most motion communicates it to the other until the medium of motion becomes in equilibrium between the two bodies, and then this equality of motion produces animal electricity.
All right, you heard it. So Grab your fedora, start nagging, and take plenty of cocaine so you can vibrate around the bar like a fucking asshole. Women love that.
Just in case you guys didn't catch that because it's written purely in goddamn gibberish, basically, there's invisible energy juice everywhere. And it moves around and it gets in your pores. And sometimes it's also electricity, kind of.
Well, no, yeah, but mostly like when your dog chases its tail, I would imagine.
Right. Anyway, since everyone has just energy juice everywhere, and sometimes one person has too much energy juice or maybe too little, you can rebalance your energy tides if you're near a person whose energy juice tide is more better than your energy juice.
Boy, you can see why he hid it behind gibberish now, can't you?
So as kooky as all that sounds, you have to put that into the context of medical treatment in the late 1700s, which was in no way more insane than animal magnetism. It's like, so people were really fucking interested in this idea, and they were probably a little tired of being told that the problem was always, you have too much blood, let me help with that.
Did they ever add blood? Just like put a full leech on you to like spit the blood back in?
They did that, and 1 out of 4 times it didn't work out so well.
So Mesmer begins to gain a bit of notoriety, and he was invited to weigh in on whether exorcisms were real. And Mesmer, I fucking love this, with no trace of irony whatsoever, found that the exorcist himself was sincere, but that the exorcism wasn't successful because it rid the patient of demons. Instead, Mesmer found that the real cure was effective because the priest unknowingly was channeling their animal magnetism.
It's amazing how made-up bullshit handshakes with other made-up bullshit so well.
Yeah,
it's just fucking amazing.
Right. Well, you know, flat earthers and hollow earthers share the same convention, Cecil.
Oh my God.
That's all you need to know.
I have one
about
question,
bullshit.
though. Where do hollow earthers think the GPS satellites are? Like, I am dying to know.
They're in the up, Cecil.
Well, north, obviously, that's the one that points up. You guys are not even...
Okay. All right. No, I give up.
So Mesmer ran into a touch of trouble when he attempted to cure a blind piano prodigy named Maria Theresia Paradis. While he claims that she was cured while they were together, she was, it turns out, still totally fucking blind as soon as she was around, other people.
That's the Eisenberg uncertainty principle right there.
Eisenberg. Clever.
And Vienna had enough of all this bullshit. And also he very likely, touched her inappropriately, whatever.
Yeah.
Regardless, he left Vienna for Paris, mired in scandal and failure. Scandal, strangely, did not follow Franz to Paris.
But it was embarrassed to be around him at this point, I would imagine. Jesus.
Right? So without it, he quickly set up shop among the wealthy of the city, and his buddy Mozart frequently popped in for visits. In Paris, Mesmer began a hugely successful practice, sometimes treating 200 patients a day.
Jesus, that's a weird Groupon. That's a very strange Groupon.
So sometimes Mesmer would treat these patients one-on-one, and other times perform a kind of like magnetism group therapy. But the individual treatment went like this. Mesmer would sit directly across from the patient, pressing his patient's knees between his own. Then he would have like this really weird staring contest with them, just locking eyes and then moving his hands over the patient's body for a while before finally touching their chest and then just like holding his hands there.
Oh, it's a Groupon. It's different. It's a different thing you sign up for.
So this went on far longer than you would possibly think. Seriously, this nonsense would go on sometimes for hours, and finally concluded with Mesmer playing some music on something called a glass harmonica, which is basically like a bunch of glass bowls full of water that he would rub and just make weird sounds with.
Okay, I'm pretty sure my pot dealer in New York was Franz Mesmer. That's like really similar. The whole thing with the touching my chest.
It's very familiar.
The glass harmonica.
Your knees, your hand in the knees.
Staring contest for... Can I just get the drugs, man? Come on.
You got to tell me if you're not a cop.
I said so many times that's meaningless. I'm not. Oh my god.
But you can't obviously see 200 patients a day if you spend like 4 hours with each one holding onto their tit in your hand while playing the 1700s version of the theremin, right?
But you can dream. Tom.
I was doing the math, though. No, I'm glad
that doesn't scale. So Mesmer invented the baguette to scale up the operation. The baguette was basically like a bathtub full of iron filings and glass bottles and water.
That's not an invention.
And Mesmer.
Yeah,
it's just junk. It's like an episode of Hoarders. Is what it
I
is.
just invented a table with things on it. No, that's you didn't invent anything.
Well, you didn't get to the good part yet, Heath. You kind of cut me. All right, here we go. So you forgot the part where Mesmer would magnetize the water with his Magic Man magnet energy power.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Trademark.
And then you
Huge.
probably feel foolish.
Huge
And then he
part
would
of that.
stick iron rods in the tub to protrude out from the top. That's the
Yeah, no, if
invention
they stay underwater,
part, I
that would fuck it up. Go ahead.
Right, just it's not going to work, right? So sick patients, I guess like as long as they were the kind of sick that means you can't see it, they would press the part of their body that was ailing to the iron rods, and the iron rods would transmit super magnet energy power, I guess, from the bathtub full of trash into the patient, and that would cure them. That's it. And while all this is happening, by the way, so Mesmer, he still has a role, right? So he would dress as an actual wizard and wander around the room,
Outstanding.
play his weird glass harmonica, light incense, run his hands around the bodies of the patients.
Okay, if this ends in a messy fight with Mesmer's half-naked, weirdly young girlfriend, this is literally my pot dealer.
It doesn't not end that way. So the patients would like convulse and flip shit and generally behave like they were at like a big box church or a sports arena. And then when Mesmer was bored watching people play with his rods, he would occasionally take one of the young women into another room for more intensive private treatment.
Okay, I don't want to call you out on the air like this, Tom, but the last 4 minutes, everything you said, you just added the name Mesmer to some shit from Chernobyl's Standard of Operations Manual. I'm almost certain.
All right.
I just want to point out, we live in weird times. Half the people that hear this would laugh at how silly it sounds, and the other half would buy this stuff from Gwyneth Paltrow's website.
Yeah, no shit. I can't stick this far enough up my vagina. Is it working yet?
I wear this weird rod around my neck all the time. It's totally not a dildo. It's totally not a
It's
dildo.
an iron Kegel egg magnet astrologer fix. Need a book.
All right, so you can only diddle your patients in a secret back room for so long while doing your Gargamel cosplay before people start to get a little suspicious.
Yeah, they start rating your favorite pizza place, checking your email service. It's like a whole thing. Exhausting.
And your timeline shortens when the king thinks that maybe you're offering your special rod to his wife, Marie Antoinette, who was among Mesmer's clientele. So King Louis XVI orders a commission to find out if Mesmer's full of shit. And also maybe, if he's sticking it to his wife.
The weird thing is that he called his junk cake, and that was weird. So
She never actually said that, but that's still hilarious.
I know. Still a joke. It's a joke. It's not
I'm sure that was
real.
my line, but no, go ahead, have at it.
So the king orders Ben Franklin and Antoine Lavoisier to check this guy out, right? And so for their part, Franklin and Lavoisier were less concerned with Mesmer's wizard games and extracurriculars than they were curious if Mesmer had perhaps accidentally found some new physical fluid. And, unsurprisingly, they found nothing, and Mesmer left Paris, and then nothing he ever did again was interesting, and he died, which happens to everyone.
So far, Tom, stop shitting on my dreams. Plans.
New term for losing your license for making a bunch of girls wet: disbartholin. Disbartholin.
I'm so glad you made that joke. So what's interesting, though, about Mesmer, and what perhaps separates him from the dozens and hundreds of garden variety charlatans that history reviles and ultimately forgets, is that Franz Mesmer was actually kind of onto something. Even the Royal Commission that investigated him realized this, noting that there was an effect on the patient when Mesmer treated them, though to their credit, they were astute enough to attribute the success to what they called the imagination of the patient. Mesmer didn't find energy tides, and he didn't stumble onto some special wizard powers he could put in the bathtub. What he did harness, however, was the power of suggestion. And many credit Mesmer as the father of hypnosis. I am not at all convinced that hypnosis holds up to much serious scrutiny, but it's impossible to deny that Mesmer had a massive impact and that the power of the placebo is not only real, but it can be used effectively in the short-term treatment of a number of afflictions, which is why we've replaced Eli's stomach medicine with lactose pills.
He's dead now. And if you'd like to summarize what you learned in one sentence, Tom, what would it be?
My bathtub full of broken glass may serve a purpose yet.
You're an inventor.
You ready for the quiz?
I'm not wearing this wizard cape without pants for nothing, Cecil.
All right, that was its own reward, but I'm glad that there was other purposes as well.
Thank you. I'm glad to be appreciated.
All right, so obviously the term mesmerize has its roots in the exploits of Franz Mesmer, and since 3/5 of the regulars on this show have surnames, which of the following terms is most likely to survive the podcast and become a term of general use in the future? A, to enratize, to make tall.
Okay.
B, to illusionize. When you go for a foreshortened version of a thing by doing 3 answers instead of 4, but still cheat your way out of it by doing a lazy meta joke in the middle. Or C, Bosnikize, when you take time off of work to look after your pre-kid. She hasn't had the baby yet, Eli. This makes no
Pre-kid.
sense.
Just doing jumping jacks next to your car, getting ready to go to the hospital. What the fuck are you doing?
Warming it up. Swarming it up.
He's not doing jumping jacks.
All right, well,
No, he's not.
I would
No.
say it's Bosnikize, but obviously there's no use from Eli or for Eli. So
Oh,
I think it's got to
Jesus.
be Enritize to make tall. I also would have accepted Enritize to make ramen. That also would have been
It's a great
acceptable.
guess, but I will be the only one remembered by history. It'll be illusionized. I'm sorry, it was B.
Oh, my gosh.
Great
So
try.
true,
Great
though.
try.
So true.
Man.
All right, we know Franz Mesmer would have been amazing for a made-on-TV guy. So what's the best made-for-TV device Franz Mesmer would have created? A, the Nether Garden Weasel. B, the Mam Wow. C,
Man, wow was amazing.
the Magic Bullet. Or D, the Tuggy.
That's great. He obviously doesn't need the Tuggy. That's why.
Yeah, I know.
And they don't need the Magic Bullet.
Yeah.
He's got
got that
covered
covered,
with
yeah.
his rods.
Yeah.
So the Nether Garden Weasel didn't really come into play until after the 70s. So you didn't really need that. It's got to be Man Wow.
It is
It's gotta be Man Wow.
maybe, yes, it's definitely the Mam Wow. Definitely the Mam Wow.
All right.
Excellent. All right, Tom, one more for you.
All right.
So, obviously, the important takeaway from this episode is the magnetic orgasm device called the compass. That's super important and amazing. Which of the following is their best ad slogan? A, the compass. Clitorian tearing at its finest.
Clitorian tear.
B, the compass. Just north of the labia. C, the compass. Shoot your lodestone.
Well, it can't be A. It doesn't make any sense. There's nothing to find up there. B, again, confusing. Nothing. Belly button? I don't even know what that means. So it's got to be C. Shoot your lodestone. You don't think it makes any sense?
No, it was actually A and B.
Damn it! Wrong every time. Every time. Not just on the show. Just every time.
All right, well, it looks like Heath, you are the winner this week.
Fantastic. Let's get some Noah next week. What do you think?
All right, Noah it is. All right, well, for Heath, Tom, and Noah, I'm Cecil, thanking you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back next week, and by then, Noah will be an expert on something else. Between now and then, you can listen to hours of audio that we create and video, also video that we create each week, and we produce on our other shows. You can find out about them on citationpod.com. And if you'd like to help keep this show going, you can make a per-episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod or leave us a 5-star review everywhere you can. If you'd like to get in touch with us, check out past episodes, connect with us on social media, or check the show notes. Be sure to check out citationpod.com. Greenlight.com.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/getstarted. That's GREENLIGHT.com/getstarted.